Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Becky, and we're parents to two little kids. Parenting isn't always easy. There are ups and downs, good days and bad days, days with way too much TV, and days with lots of laughter. Moments where you just feel overwhelmed, and moments where you've never felt more proud.
At the end of the day, parenting is super rewarding, but also super hard. This podcast is for all the parents out there who feel like they have no idea what they're doing, because we're right there with you. This is the Spillproof Podcast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Spillproof Podcast. I'm Becky.
And I'm Dave.
And today, we have a good one for you. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about, TV. It's been on our list for a little while, and I know that we were going to probably go in a different direction, and we'll probably circle back around on it, but we're going to be talking about going for the better part of 24 hours, we'll call it.
The kids' waking hours, no TV.
Yeah, so we'll call it 24 hours with no TV.
Yeah, 24 hours with no TV.
Because obviously they're asleep and
yeah,
they're not watching TV at night.
The reason why we wanted to do a day with no TV is...
If you've been following us on our social media, we posted maybe yesterday or the day before that we have not been super healthy recently.
No, RSV has taken over our lives.
Yes.
Every single one of us got sick, including your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Dave's mom also got RSV.
Yep.
It kicked our butts, and then it kicked us again.
Yeah. I mean, I got up to 102.3 or 0.5 or something like that.
Yeah. Owen took the cake. He was 103.5.
Yeah.
Em wasn't too bad. I think the highest she got was like 101.7.
Yeah. But she was out of it pretty bad too.
Yeah, she got it from
and she runs cold.
Daycare, yeah. And
Her temp is always low.
We all got it after that. So it has been the better part of 2 weeks that RSV has claimed us.
And today was the first day where we were all kind of good.
Yeah, there were no fevers, a couple coughs from the kids.
But it's mostly
no
due
fevers.
to drainage.
Yeah.
It's drainage from the nose going back. There's no fevers. There's nothing contagious at this point. It's really just the remnants of it.
But needless to say, the last about 2 weeks, there's been a lot of TV. Just because...
Pretty much every waking hour.
Yeah, like it was either on in the background because Dave and I were also sick. So sometimes we would just like be like, oh my gosh, I just need to lay down and like have the kids be in a room and kind of either watching TV or like playing in the room while we laid down. So there's been a lot of TV. So we wanted to do a detox. So we decided that today was going to be a no TV day.
Mm-hmm. And not that there's anything wrong with using TV, watching TV. We certainly still watch a bunch of it, but we have set times typically for it. When they wake up, they'll watch a little bit of TV. When they get home from daycare, they'll watch a little bit. And that's pretty much it. For the most part, when our parents watch them, it'll come on here and there. But
yeah, we tried, and I feel like we've been a little bit worse about it recently. Like we've let it go a little longer.
You got to reel it in a little.
Yeah, so I feel like it was a good way to prove to ourselves that we can go a full day without watching TV, and
we decided this on. Kind of on the fly, I think, or maybe late last night.
It was last night as we were putting the kids to bed, or getting ready for bed, I should say. They were having some milk before bed, and we were reading a story and getting our pajamas on, and I was like, we're going to do no TV tomorrow. And it was kind of like, yeah.
It you leveraged a second bottle.
Yeah, so Owen was like, I want more milk. I want another, they call their milk Baba. And so he was like, I would like another one. And I was like, just out of nowhere, was like, sure, you can have another one. But if you do, we're not going to watch TV at all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we need to do a no TV day. And for whatever reason, I thought this was a good idea. So he was like, yes, that's fine. And Dave was like, you don't know what you're getting into, Owen. Do you understand? Do you understand that tomorrow we will watch no TV? And I was like, he said it. We're doing it.
It ended up going a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't had anything planned. We had nothing planned.
We had nothing planned, yeah.
We very well could have just been sitting in the house with no TV and screaming kids. There's a very good possibility that could have been the outcome. It wasn't, but it could have.
But we got up and we were like, all right, it's no TV. What are we going to do today? And we decided to go to the zoo an hour away because it's a better zoo. The kids slept in. So the last 2 days, besides Dave hasn't really slept in, but all of us have slept in because we're just kind of catching up on sleep after being sick. Emily slept until 9 a.m. Yesterday.
Which her wake-up time is 7.
7. So she slept an extra 2 hours. This morning, I think Owen woke up at like 8:35 and Emily woke up at like 8:40 or 8:45. So again, like slept in a lot this morning too. So that helped with our no TV day. And then probably after that, for like the next hour, it was getting them breakfast,
getting ready to leave,
getting them changed. Yeah,
we were going to be
getting ready.
Over an hour away, so we wanted to make sure we had everything with us.
And when Owen woke up, he did ask for TV. He was like, "I would like the TV on," and I was like, "Sorry, buddy, we're doing a no TV day. Remember last night, you wanted a second, like baba of milk, and so we're doing no TV today." And he was like, "Come off it, Mom. Like, no way. This isn't real." And I was like, "We're going to do it."
And he didn't ask after it. After that, he didn't ask
Yeah,
all
I was
day.
shocked.
All day. But we decided that it would have been a good idea to also get outside. So we haven't been able to get outside as much as we'd like to. Ride our bikes or just get out in general. Yeah. Especially since we've been cooped up because everyone's been so sick. So the zoo was kind of a last-minute decision. Zoos are all outside, so it's a lot easier. You know, there's some indoor buildings to go into and see some animals, but generally speaking, the zoos are all outside. It just so happened that the zoo was doing a
trick-or-treating thing.
A trick-or-treating event that was princess themed, so you could meet Disney princesses, which probably would have been cool if our kids were a little bit older.
There were only 3 Disney princesses. Like, I only saw 3 of them, though.
The only things that were Disney at the zoo were the princesses and the food prices.
Oh my gosh, we'll get to that, but holy crap. Did we spend a lot on food?
So it was all on the fly, but and this isn't, I wouldn't call it cheating by any means, but you have to fill yourself with, or your day with, other activities. You can't just sit inside all day. The whole point of getting rid of the TV was also to get us outside, moving, more active, get some fresh air. You know, we haven't had fresh air in almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, like being so cooped up.
Yeah, between being sick and work from home, I think in the last week and a half, I left the house once, and that was to bring the garbage down. You know, it really wasn't, and then again to bring it up. But it just, we really didn't get out that much. So we said, you know what? Let's see if we can get tickets. We were able to get regular price tickets.
Yeah, we didn't get tickets to the themed, like, Halloween event, but we were still able to get regular tickets to the zoos.
And we did everything that we normally would have. We just didn't get to participate in
we
the candy stuff.
There was like tables set up to trick or treat at, and then like a couple that one photo op with a couple of the princesses. But the kids, like, our kids don't even watch like Disney princess movies anyways, so and they honestly don't eat candy like that.
They don't eat candy.
They don't eat candy. They eat they don't eat candy at all, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
No, they M&Ms. M&Ms for potty training.
Yes.
That's the only thing we've done. They prefer fruit.
Yeah, or
even
cookies.
over cake. Even over cake.
We're not those people that, like, you know, are like, oh, they have nothing. They have no sugar. Don't worry.
They have plenty of sugar.
We give them plenty of sugar. They just happen to not like candy right now.
They don't have a sweet tooth.
They really don't.
They don't
it's
even
weird.
like sugary drinks.
If I didn't grow them inside of me, I would be like, whose children are you? Because I have a big sweet tooth.
I don't, though.
You don't. I know.
It's getting worse as I get older, though.
They're like lame like Dave. They don't. I'm like, okay, I'll get some ice cream. And they'd prefer the mango
Popsicles made
or
with
the
real
real
mango.
fruit popsicles that you have, Mom. And I'm like, okay, thanks, guys.
So we went to the zoo. The
Yep.
zoo was really great. It was
Yeah, the drive there felt like it took a while.
mhm.
I don't know why, but they did good in the car. Em
Mhm.
got a little whiny and she needed me to like pat her head.
Mhm. And just because we weren't sure how this day was going to go, we did have a backup of bringing an iPad and the Amazon Fire tablet
But we
just
didn't
in case.
use it.
We didn't use
it.
But we had it as a backup because at some point we figured that this was all going to fall to
Yeah,
pieces.
we
and
really
were
didn't
gonna
have
to
a lot
revert
of
back.
confidence in ourselves.
And we needed the phones
Yeah,
for GPS.
just in case. Plus, like, right, like if you plan for the worst case, it won't happen. But if we didn't bring it, it would have been a disaster.
Mhm.
But we brought a book for Emily that's like a Baby Shark book. And like as you read through it, you can press like the buttons on the right.
And it
then
plays the entire song.
Yeah, it sings different like Baby Shark songs. Or basically it takes a bunch of nursery rhymes and like
It's
puts
a bunch of
Baby
ping
Shark
pong
into it.
nonsense.
Yeah. But she had that and she had one of those poppers that are like all the rage right now where you just pop them to the other side. So that kept her occupied and like she got a little cranky, but I just had to rub her head. And Owen pretty much just had
A bunch of his cars.
And
he was making up games they were playing.
Yeah, and then we listened to Pink Fong animal songs for
Mhm.
most of the ride too, and they were pretty content.
Yeah, just turned off all the speakers except for the two in the back, and we were good.
Yeah. In bed.
But the zoo was really good. It was nice to get out. It was nice to go to somewhere different.
Yeah, a different zoo.
Because we have a zoo membership, so we go to our zoo a lot. But our zoo's like a little bit smaller, a little bit, a little less animals. Certainly not as many indoor like reptiles and things like that.
Yeah, this one definitely had more like indoor walkthrough stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which was cool, but a little more crowded at the beginning than
Yeah, we could barely
I'm
find parking.
used to, and that I guess I was a little comfortable with. And it's just because we haven't been around crowds, and so we were like smack dab in the middle of crowds, and we masked up, and Owen masked up, and
We wore our masks outdoors and indoors. They only required it indoors, which I
Yeah.
didn't realize. I thought when they said that they required masks that it was going to be masks inside the property. But that's not how our zoo is, so I don't know why I thought that was going to be the case.
yeah.
But I assumed there were going to be a lot of people wearing masks.
So we just wore them the whole time because we thought those were the rules, when technically the rules were just when you walked inside a building.
And then Emmy had her face shield hat.
Yeah, her
Bucket hat
hat.
with a
She did
face
pretty
shield.
good. She did better.
She did better with it.
She did better than when we went to the aquarium.
She did, but we haven't practiced with it, so that's kind of on us. We brought some masks for her just in case, because she's around the age Owen was when he started to learn how to wear a mask.
No,
Isn't
she's
she?
much younger.
Is she?
Yeah, he was like 20 months when he started to wear a mask.
Oh, I thought he was.
It was after
Younger.
Emily was born. It was when we went to that apple picking farm.
You're right.
Yeah.
Emily was born.
Yeah, he was like 20, 21 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we digress. Masks. When we
Yeah,
got
so-
there, a little crowded.
So we wore our masks, and it was. They said 6 feet, but I mean, I don't think I saw anybody.
No, yeah, they had the signs everywhere that were like, stay 6 feet apart,
And really nothing was one way. They had the one way signs up, but
yeah.
nope, they didn't have them. Sorry, they had them, but they were all leaning against buildings. They didn't
So we were
actually-
like, which way is the one way?
yeah, it was super confusing.
Yeah, then we were like, it's just a free for like we'll just keep our masks on and it's fine.
Mhm.
But there were a lot of good animals.
Mm-hmm. We did ride the carousel, which Owen thought was Dumbo,
He was so excited to ride it.
which is the Dumbo ride at Disney World.
Yeah,
He thought it was that for
he
some reason.
thought it was
and he got
Dumbo.
super
Yeah.
excited.
He was
about
like
riding
Dumbo.
it. So we did decide to do it because it was cheap enough.
Yeah, I mean it was $3. I feel like it's kind of pricey for
Well, 'cause
a
we're used
very
to $1.
small carousel. But I went on with him. You
Mhm.
watched with Em, and he was super excited. A couple of the horses were broken, so it took us a while to find one. And I wanted to find one on the edge so that way Dave could like film us.
Mhm.
And apparently, So like I stood next to Owen and he was on the horse so I could hold on to him because he's not old enough to like ride it by himself. And apparently what happened was there was like a bug on my hat.
Like on the brim.
On the brim of my hat that I was wearing, which was like basically at Owen's face height. And Owen hates bugs in his face. Like who doesn't, right? Hate bugs in their face. But Owen actually has night terrors where he wakes up saying the flies are in my eyes or the bees are in my eyes. So it's like a big thing for him. So I didn't realize it. And I see Dave signaling. So like right before the carousel started, he starts freaking out saying, I want to get off, crying hysterically. And he was so happy like 2 seconds ago. So I'm trying to keep him on the horse because he's trying to launch himself off the horse that's like 5 feet off the ground. So I'm like wrestling him to stay on. And then Dave, I thought he was signaling me to take my hat off as if like the conductor or the ride attendant was like, take your hats off. It's going to spin too fast. And I was like, it's carousel. It's not going to spin too fast. So I ended up taking it off. And then afterwards, Dave was like, there was a huge bug on your hat. And we're thinking that like Owen saw it and freaked out.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I thought it was a bee. But you were saying that you thought maybe it might have been a stink bug.
Yeah, because then like later there was a stink bug crawling on my leg while we were riding the carousel.
So that's probably what it was. But he freaked out.
Freaked like hysterics the entire carousel ride. Like just me trying to keep him on the horse while it was moving. That was, I was not expecting that, but you know.
No.
So we should get to, you know, like we saw the animals.
Yeah.
You know, Owen was like kind of rushing through the animal. Like we would get to an animal and then he'd be like, bye, giraffe. Like immediately. And we were like, well, let's look at it for a little bit. Because Emmy's really big into the animals now. But he was like, he was keeping us moving. But it was like a little after 12. And we were like, all right, it's lunchtime. And this is where the zoo got us.
It was actually a little bit before 12.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, because that's why we hustled over to so we could get a seat.
Oh, okay.
And there were actually quite a few seats. Little did we know there was a reason for that, but...
Yeah, so Dave sat with the kids, and we had brought like applesauce packets and like the packets.
Stuff.
Yeah, just snacks. So like Dave got the kids started on some of that stuff, and I went in line, and Dave was like, just get me whatever. And I was like, okay, thinking it's going to be like, you know, your typical like cheeseburger, hot dog, grilled cheese, whatever it is, like that type of
typical
food.
Zoo food.
Yeah, typical zoo food. So I'm waiting in line. And I'm looking at the menu, and they have like 4 different cheeseburgers. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like poutine. And I was like, oh, that like there's definitely more options. And then I'm looking at the prices, and I was like, oh, like, you know, it was like $10 for a kid's hot dog. And I was like, this seems like kind of a lot for the zoo that we're at. And like when you think about admission, I was like, this is going to add up for us. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get 2 kids meals because I don't think they're going to eat 2 kids meals. Plus, like, this is going to be pretty expensive. So I ended up getting a kid's hot dog meal, a chicken, like an adult chicken tender meal, which was like $15. Like, what the heck? A plain hamburger and poutine, and then 2 waters and an icy drink for Owen. It was $61. The guy rang it up and I was like, what? Like, this is Disney prices.
Straight up Disney prices.
Disney prices. I was like, we could have like paid for admission 3 times over.
And the burger was okay. The chicken was not good.
No, the chicken tenders were not good.
No,
the poutine was good.
They were like breaded good, but they were like, there was too much meat glue in them. It was gross.
Yeah.
The fries were okay.
The fries are okay.
And the drink was okay. They didn't love any of it. And then when we were leaving, we saw that there was a pizza option, which we've been to this zoo before. and we did the exact same thing.
Made the exact same
exact same thing. We're like, next time we come, we're going to remember there's a pizza place that's like 20 feet down and around the corner, and we forgot.
Yeah. And the pizzas were like, for a cheese, like $8.99, and then for a pepperoni, $9.99.
And they were like a little bit bigger than like personal pizzas.
Yeah, and like so we could have gotten probably like a cheese and a pepperoni and split it as a family.
They were probably like a 12-inch pizza. I
yeah,
say.
And had like it would have been fine. And the kids, like, Em loves pizza.
Like they would have eaten it.
Yeah, like they actually would have eaten their food, and we would have spent a fraction of the price. So I was very annoyed by that. I was also very annoyed by what happened during lunch.
You can go into this.
Okay.
This is all you.
All right, guys. Let me get into the nitty gritty of this. So right as we start lunch, Owen like squats in his chair, and he's not potty trained yet. He pee-pees on the potty every once in a while, but we were like really into potty training over the summer, and then we realized we didn't want him potty trained for our road trip, so we stopped. So potty training has been a cluster. So he squats down in his chair right as we start eating, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm pooping," because as all toddlers do, he has to announce when he's going number 2. So he's like, "I'm pooping," and then we can tell that like he's super uncomfortable. He like won't actually sit in a chair because like, you know, he just went to the bathroom. He wants his diaper changed. So I was like, let me take you to the bathroom. I'll get you changed, and then you'll feel fresh and we can eat. So we walk in, and there's like a nursing room with a curtain, and someone's in there. So I'm like, okay, let's go to the handicap stall because there wasn't a pad in not a pad, a changing table like outside of the stalls. You had to go inside the stall. So you go inside the stall, and of course the toilet is like disgusting and a mess and like was not flushed from before. So I'm like, oh, and do not touch anything. Like hold on to mommy's leg, because I also wanted to wipe down the changing table with my Baby Ganix wipes. Which are like antibacterial wipes. And then I have my like, you know, actual wipes for the kids. So I'm like, hold on to mommy's leg and while I'm doing this. So then someone uses the like automatic hand dryer. And this is when I remember that Owen is terrified of the hand dryers in restrooms. So he starts to flip out, like screaming, like, "Mommy, let's get out of here. I don't like it. I don't like it." And I'm like, I forgot he doesn't like these, which just sound like a vacuum. And he has no problem with the vacuum at home. Has never had a problem with any sounds like that. But when he's in the bathroom out in public, and I think it's because honestly, he's been in a public restroom like once since pandemic started. And that's when he freaked out at the hand dryers with Dave. So he's freaking out. I try to put him on the table, and he won't let go of my neck. Like he has a death grip on it. And so I was like, this isn't worth it. Plus this bathroom's kind of gross. So I told myself, like, we're just going to have to change him outside in the grass somewhere and like make the best of it. Like I'm not going to wrestle him in here. And then as we're walking out, I realized that the nursing room was open. So I'm like, oh, buddy, let's do it in here. There was actually a changing table in there. And there was also like an armchair because it was technically for nursing moms. But I was like, I got to change his diaper. Like he's got a big one in there. And there was also like a little, like almost like a bed that's like in the nurse's office in elementary school and middle school. Like it's like pleather. Not pleather, but like
it's vinyl.
Vinyl. Yeah, it was like a vinyl bed almost, or like lounger. And so I was like, oh, and you can actually lay on this and I'll change you. So again, I wiped it down with the Baby Ganix wipes before he laid on it. And every time the hand dryer goes off, he freaks out. Like he'll calm down, and he would, at one point he was like, oh, it's not so bad. And then it would go off again and he would freak out. And so at this point he's just really worked up. And I didn't realize he basically had a blowout. So I'm like taking off his shorts and realize there's just poop all under him. Like, it's all over this little, like, bed thing. It's all in his shorts. It's all up his back. It's all up his T-shirt. And I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, he hasn't had a blowout in a year and a half, probably. Like, it's been a really, really long time. So I was like, buddy, I'm so sorry. I'm going to, like, I'm going as fast as we can, but mommy needs to make sure that you're clean. And so he's just crying. He's like covering his like forearms, or he's covering his eyes with his forearms. Like, he's super distraught, just like screaming. And it's everywhere. Like, it's on my hands. It's on my forearms. I'm like, I was thinking, like, I don't know if I have a bag to put these dirty clothes in, but they actually had, like, it wasn't a diaper genie, but some other version of it. And I was like, we have backup clothes. I just need to throw these clothes out because I need to get him out of here. And, like, I'm not going to rinse these clothes out in the sink to try to save him. Like, I needed to make a decision right then and there that, like, it wasn't worth it. So I cleaned him up as best, like, I cleaned him up. I got it all off of him, and he's standing in there with his socks and shoes on and nothing else. And then I put the diaper and I put his clothes and all the wipe. I used like a half pack of wipes in this like diaper genie thing. And then I wiped down all the remnants off this lounge thing. And then I took my Baby Organics wipes and wiped it down because I was like, I'm not going to leave like poop on, like someone else is going to come in and babysit their kids on this. So like, I was like, I need to clean this up with something antibacterial. And then I got his clothes back on him, and I walked him back out, and he was like feeling better. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dave. And he was like, you okay? You've been gone a while. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I sat him down and I was like, that was a lot. I can't even tell you about it right now, but that was a lot. And I was like, I just have to go back and like really wash my hands. And that's when I realized I had poop all up my arm. All up my arm. So it's like, I really got to go back. So I'm like trying to like wash up, literally up to my shoulders. I'm trying to wash each arm. And everyone's like staring at me in the bathroom, and the water got like really scalding for some reason. So I had to switch to another sink, and it was a hot mess. So I felt like I probably had poop on me all day.
You probably did.
I probably did.
Because then he like sat on your shoulders.
Yeah, and then he was like, after lunch, he was like, Mommy, put me on your shoulders. And I was like, I really, really don't want to.
And then he jumped in a mud puddle.
He did. He jumped in a mud puddle and got his shoes and socks soaked. So by the end of the day, his entire outfit was just trashed. Mm-hmm. But this is what I get. That's what I got for trying to do a no TV day.
Yeah.
I
didn't
poop all over me.
Was it worth it?
The kids had a great day, but it was like one of those moments where you're like, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, I got poop all over this room. I cleaned it up, guys. I didn't leave like any remnants. I cleaned it all up. But
having kids is poop covered everything.
It was not. That part was not fun.
No, and luckily we left there around 1:30, 2?
About 2 we left.
Yeah. So we left there 2. Kids slept almost all the way home.
Yeah, they both passed out within like 3 minutes of us getting in the car, which I thought was funny.
Which is nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Never happens.
Emily definitely never falls asleep like that, but they were. Mm-hmm. She was in the baby carrier car seat, rather than the regular car seat, so it lays back a little bit better. And she slept good in it, better than the car seat. And then Owen just passes out wherever he is. It doesn't matter what he's doing.
And Em, she got a little. Well, it's probably like half her size, but like gorilla stuffed animal. Because we learned that Emmy loves monkeys today. Mm-hmm. Loves them. Every monkey we saw, she just would like squeal with like delight and like try to do her version of like monkey sounds. Mm-hmm. She loved it.
Going to the zoo, going anywhere, we always end up with a stuffed animal.
Gosh, the amount of money. I don't even want to think about it. But like, and I'm sure every parent does this. Mm-hmm. But like, if you actually thought about the amount of money that you spend on stuffed animals that then sit in a pile in your playroom.
We spent more money on cars.
Probably.
100%.
Yeah, we probably spent
twice as much on cars.
I mean, when you add it all up, it's not great.
No.
It's a lot.
It's not great. But we got home, so they slept mostly in the car. That was our nap. It was about an hour long.
Yeah, the ride home felt super fast.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
fast.
why.
But we were all really tired.
Yeah. We were awake.
Yeah. There was one time when I was it literally looked from my point of view that Dave's head dropped. Like he just passed out driving. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "I'm just trying to like look at the speedometer a different way." But I was like, it literally looked like his chin dropped to his chest and he fell asleep. And I was like, "Are you okay?"
I can't see the speedometer because of the steering wheel, so I have to look under it when I'm actually trying to figure out what speed I'm going. Because I generally don't look. I just drive. Whatever the way traffic is going, that's the safe speed.
And then I tell him to slow down.
When it's above 80.
Yeah.
So we got home and we're like, through dinner together.
Yeah, I went to the store real quick, picked up some stuff, and...
Still nobody asking for TV at this point.
Yeah, none. The kids didn't ask. Dave played with the kids while I went to the store. We were doing Lego
and tried to build a fort.
Mm-hmm.
Did some climbing.
Yep. And then I made pancakes when we got home, and we put M&Ms in some of them to spice things up.
See, we gave our kids candy.
Yeah, we literally for dinner. But Owen didn't even eat it. He was he's been really stubborn during meal times. He used to be such a good eater and eat such a variety, and now it's been more of a challenge. But we were like, hey, we'll put M&Ms in pancakes, and the kids had some other stuff. We actually have I think they're called wagon wheels, but they're basically it's like mac and cheese, but it has hidden vegetables in it. It has celery and carrots hidden in it. So they had those. And then Emmy had a pear.
I think it's Kid Fresh. The brand's
Kid Fresh. But they Emmy gobbles that stuff up, and Owen was just a little bit more stubborn. But he really wanted cookies with M&Ms in them. This was when he probably got the crankiest all day, and that's why we made pancakes with M&Ms in them, because we're like, oh, we'll be cool parents, and we'll do you one better, kid. We'll do M&Ms and pancakes, and he wanted nothing to do with them.
No, I don't. I think he punched one out and ate it, popped it out of the pancake and ate it. Emmy had a couple bites, but neither one of them really liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I liked it. And that left us with just a couple more hours in the day. I want to say it was around 5.
It's 5:30 when we finished dinner.
So we figured it was a nice day. We'd go take our e-bikes out and go ride them around the canal and go into town a little bit.
And we haven't been on them, all four of us, in 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. No, a week and a half or something.
It was
right before we all got sick. So about 2 weeks.
And that was a lot of fun, getting back out on the canal, getting some fresh air, got a little exercise, turned the e-bike off and just pedaled for a little bit. That's 63 pounds of bike.
Literally sore right now because for 10 minutes we biked without assistance. That's called being out of shape.
They're heavy bikes, but yeah.
It was bad. It made me really realize how out of shape I am.
Yeah, we're both out of shape. But and that brought us to basically bedtime.
Yeah, we stopped at
your brother's.
My brother's house. He lives in the neighborhood. So we did stop at their house, and they brought their cats outside, and the kids pet the cats, and
they had fun with the cats.
Yeah, then they put them back inside, and they were pawing at the door. So then Emmy was pawing at the door. They had a lot of fun. Then it started to get dark, and we headed home, and it was bedtime.
So and since they're asleep, they'll literally sleep until they woke up this morning. So, it's a full 24 hours of no TV.
24 hours of no TV. We did it.
And I think it's for everybody at this exact moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, we're doing too much TV, just do a no TV day, but just make sure you plan activities. Because I told Dave, I was like, it would have been very different if we didn't like go out and do something. Like if we were just home all day because we didn't plan. Like I'm sure if you had activities planned, it would have been fine. But
yeah, it would have been a lot to ask for them to not have TV but be stuck inside all day. I think it'd be a lot to ask.
So like winter.
Oh yeah, we're screwed.
We're screwed.
We're screwed on winter because it's either that or we're pulling them up and down the hill and letting them sled.
Yeah. But maybe we should look into just like more fun I mean, there's a thing. Like any parent, when you're planning indoor activities, you're like, oh, we're not going to, we're going to do 2 hours and that's it. Or whatever it is. We're like, we're just going to do it in the morning. I'm always like, let's color. Let's get the coloring books out. This will kill half hour, 5 minutes. Or like, let's get the Play-Doh out. Okay, well, that was 20 minutes. But only 20 minutes, and now they want to move on to something else. Or like, let's read some books. Okay, well, like, I've read this book 30 times, and it's only been 11 minutes. Like, it's just, at this age, they can't really, like, they can play on their own, right? But, like, they play on their own, and then they're like, hey, Mom, what are you doing? Come play with me.
Their attention span's very, very short.
Yeah, so.
Which, I mean.
They're 1 and 2. Yeah.
You can't expect much out of that.
So.
But we survived.
We
survived, and there were a couple moments where I was like, I'm bored.
I didn't really feel bored.
Well, you were, like, cooking.
Oh.
Or no, you were gone. You were gone going to the grocery store. And I was with the kids, and I'm like, I just want to turn TV on and sit.
I'm glad you didn't, though.
I didn't.
We did it. We did 24 hours. We did it.
I wasn't going to do it, but.
And I feel better that we did it. Not that it undid the hours of TV that we've watched over the last 2 weeks, but I feel better.
The TV's been on.
We can do it.
Constantly.
But listen, you got to do what you got to do when you're sick.
Yeah. I mean, we try to put educational things on when we can. We try not to put garbage TV on. We do our best with that, but I mean, at some point, I mean, if they're sick and they can't do anything, the last thing you want to do is try to make them run around or eat, or as long as they're drinking and they're relaxing and they're trying to get better. I mean, that's all you can do. And if they're going to sit there and do nothing, they're going to be watching TV.
Yeah.
They can't sit there, do nothing and play. That's not a thing.
And this may not be the most appropriate thing for a 1 and 2 year old to watch, but it was like, this was literally like 2 nights ago when like, it had been a long 2 weeks. We turned on what is that show, The Floor is Lava? Yes. We had that on and we were like, oh, let's play The Floor is Lava at home, and the kids were not interested.
I don't think this was inappropriate.
No, okay, but we're like, and Emmy was mostly playing. Owen actually still had a fever, so he was kind of just like laying on the couch.
It was something that wasn't YouTube or.
It wasn't a kid's show.
Yeah.
Like we were.
It was our small break.
Yeah. And we were watching this, which is actually a really, really funny show. And it made me want to play The Floor is Lava with the kids, but they didn't want to play with me. Again, Owen had a fever and Em is 1. So she was like.
She can barely walk.
Yeah, like what? But I had a moment where I was thinking like, oh, this would be a really fun game to play. Like this is a fun game show. Like it's. You think like, oh, this is totally a game show I would sign up for. And then my mind went to like, oh gosh, what if there was lava in our house? What would we do? And then it went to, oh my gosh, we're all going to die in lava. I don't want my children to die that way. And I started to cry.
Pretty bad.
Really bad. Like Dave was like,
crying.
What's wrong? And I was like, I don't want our kids to die in lava. And he was like, oh, okay. And I just, he was like, it's okay. You're just having like some irrational fears. It's okay. And
I said, we have windows.
Yeah. He was like, in typical Dave fashion, he immediately went to the solution and was like, if the floor suddenly started like seeping with lava and rising up, we would break this window and get out and we would be okay. But I cried for like 10 minutes about that. And soon
Mm-hmm.
we are going to have a podcast about fears as parents.
Mhm.
So
We need to mentally be in a good place
yeah,
before we do
we were
that.
gonna do it this week, and I said I'm not in a good enough spot mentally to do that.
But we want to do that just because it's going to be the things I used to fear are not the things that I fear now, and the things I fear now are completely irrational in some aspects, like that.
Yeah.
And but it doesn't take away from how real it feels or how much fear it can put in you. It doesn't matter. It's you worry about the safety of your kids, no matter what the threat might be.
Yeah. So if you want to hear about what we fear and freak
Mhm.
out about, and how we cope or try to
Mhm.
cope with it, tune in next time.
I think that's it.
That's it. That's all we have for today.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. We're going to go turn on the TV now.
Yeah. We're going to go watch a bunch of TV
Yeah.
until we fall asleep on the couch.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Spillproof Podcast. As always, reach out to us at spillproofpodcast@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you all, and we can't wait to talk with you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.